to Savory al estilo boricua. My name is Maggie Luz, and today I hope to share with you a glimpse of the Puerto Rican culture through our delicious food. Enjoy a taste of Puerto Rico through these simple yet thoughtful recipes. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. Buen provecho! Welcome! Today we are making Sofrito Recaito. Sofrito is for the Puerto Rican cuisine what the mirepoix is for French cooking. It is the flavorful base of many traditional Puerto Rican savory dishes. On the screen you'll find the ingredients and the equipment that we'll be needing. I always start off by peeling and chopping the onions and placing them in the blender. I add just a small amount of water, just enough to get the blender going. I usually place the onions in first because they tend to have a higher water content in comparison to the other ingredients. Following the onions come the bell peppers, which I cut in half, gut out the seeds, and chop them into smaller pieces. You don't have to cut them too small since they will be blended. Then I add a few cloves of garlic. And lastly, for the main ingredients, we add cilantro. This is what is going to give the sofrito that bright green color. Go ahead and use the stem and the leaves. It's all good. Following this, I would add culantro, which is from the cilantro family, but it is not that easy to find where I live. It's mostly found on the island. I'll place a picture of it here. You can also add ají dulce, which is a sweet bell pepper. It's small. I'll go ahead and place a picture of it here also. Place a little bit of the cilantro at a time. Once the blender is full, pour out some of the mixture into a bowl. Continue blending the rest of the cilantro. Then add oil and salt to the blender to give flavor to the sofrito. And once it is very well incorporated, you can add back what you previously poured out into the bowl. Once well mixed, you can pour it into containers. My rule of thumb is to keep individual sized portions. These containers that I'm using are 8-ounce containers, and I place them in the freezer. That one portion is sufficient for a pot of beans, rice, a meat dish. This is what I always have on hand in my freezer. What I place in the larger container, I use within the following 3 to 4 days after having made the sofrito, and I just keep that in the fridge. You can find these containers at your local dollar store. Some other versions call for adding a couple of tomatoes. When I have a couple of very ripe tomatoes on hand, I go ahead and add them to my sofrito. I left a little bit of the green sofrito here in the blender, and I'm just going to add the chopped up tomatoes and blend until well incorporated. You can add a little bit more salt if you'd like to at this point, if not, it's fine. Then you can pour them out into the containers the same way that you did with the other one. You'll notice that this color is more of a deep dark green, kind of like an olive color, in comparison to the non-tomato sofrito, which actually, the way I grew up knowing these two different versions, the green one is sofrito, the one with the tomato or the reddish one is recaito. Then, when you are ready to make a pot of habichuelas rosadas, pink beans, just add your sofrito in and it will take it to a whole other level. This is how I grew up using sofrito. I've also seen people who literally saute this blend, hence the name sofrito, which means saute, and you add it with cubed ham and you saute that for a bit. That's like your base, and then you add the beans or the meat or whatever it is that you're cooking. Either way that you use it, it will definitely give your dish that Puerto Rican touch. Enjoy! Buen provecho!